Hey Hotshots, Just the Emotional Fire Academy here to talk about how to heal your triggers fast so shit rolls off you like water. Welcome to Emotional Fire Academy. This is a channel where we teach tactical mindfulness so that you can live the epic, amazing, extraordinary life you always knew you were capable of. Welcome, I'm Jess. I'm happy to have you. Subscribe if that sounds good to you. All right, so I have a quick announcement before we jump into the content. Today is the last day that the Change Your Mind, Change Your Life Master Course is on sale for 60% off. Doors close tonight, prices rise. So what you get for the screaming deal is 9 weeks of self-paced content, 1 weekly live call. So it is a live cohort. We're going through as a group. You have spot coaching with me throughout the process so that you stay on track. So there's total accountability. So there's no buyer's remorse. This isn't something you get to buy and then not participate in. It is a total group experience where we're going through together, learning together, transforming together. And that is what happens when people go through this process. They transform. So if you like the content on my channel, if you've been watching me a while, I would love to have you in this upcoming class. It's going to be an incredible experience. And you're going to do the work and you'll change. You will definitely change your life. It's just about learning new strategies. So all right, so how do we heal triggers? What is a trigger, right? When somebody says something to us or we think a thought about ourselves and we go into a trigger is a conditioning. It's a type of conditioning, right? We have programmed ourselves, either consciously or unconsciously, to react a certain way. So when we get a bit of data that initiates the trigger, we react. We literally react. The answer is in the word. We will react out that initial emotion that we connected to the belief, right? We hear anything that seems like the belief or the thought, for instance, if someone says to me, oh, you're fat, and I have a trigger around my weight, I'm very insecure about my weight, I'm self-conscious about my weight, I will instantly, when that trigger comes up, I will react. So I will react out the pain of, oh my God, I am fat. That the thoughts start, right? The story starts in our head. It's literally a button. The button gets pushed, the story recording begins, the emotional recording begins, and we react out whatever the belief is. So the first thing, how do we heal this? How do we stop this? This is an opportunity, right? When the button gets pushed, the first thing we're like, oh, great, the pain is coming up. Oh my gosh, I feel the pain of this trigger. Oh, it's true. Acknowledge that there is a button there. Be like, wow, life, I'm so glad you showed me that there is a button there, that there's pain there. This is an opportunity for me to grow as a person, to transcend this. We never have to hang on to old triggers. They're a type of learning, right? We learned this. We took data from the outside world. And really, there is no outside world. We live in a simulation. We're constantly creating the simulation. We constantly create our simulation. So somewhere along the way, we learned and we believed that something was true about ourselves. And in order for that button to be there, in order for that trigger to exist, we still believe that. We still believe that. Because when we don't identify with that, if I know that I am a skinny, amazing, beautiful goddess and someone tells me you're fat, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, whatever. We're neutral. We're able to remain neutral. It rolls off of us. It doesn't bother us. So part of us needs to acknowledge, part of me believes this is true. Whatever's been said to me, whatever I thought about myself, part of me deep down learned a long time ago that this is true about me because I'm reacting that original conditioning, right? So we want to eliminate this. So how do we do that? So we feel the pain come up. We acknowledge, my button got pushed. There's a button there. Acknowledge there's a button. That's the first thing. Acknowledge that, wow, this has nothing to do with anybody outside of me. This has to do with what I believe about myself and what I've programmed into my own being. I've programmed this by allowing it. By allowing to be like, oh yeah, I'm fat. It's true, I'm fat. That doesn't have to be our truth. It doesn't have to be our truth. So no matter what size we are, really, We can believe whatever we want to believe about ourselves. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, right? It doesn't matter. We get to believe what we want to believe about ourselves. So when you feel the pain, acknowledge the button is there. Say, wow, okay, this is an opportunity for me to grow, for me to get rid of this button. Who needs this button? Because my emotional well-being matters. How I feel about myself matters. How I feel inside matters. And I don't want to be a reactive person. I don't want to melt when somebody says the word fat. I don't want to hear the word fat and go into a puddle of goop and lose my self-confidence and feel shitty the rest of the day. No. So I'm going to start unprogramming this button. So just acknowledging it's there, recognizing after the reaction, okay, there's a button there. Part of me believes that this is true about myself, even if it's a small part. So what do I want to believe instead? What is the belief that I want to believe? I want to believe I'm fit, I'm healthy, I look really good. That's what I want to believe. Okay. So in that moment, after we acknowledge we have the button, we go into our memory and we say, when were the times that I felt fit and healthy? Because often we are receiving evidence to the contrary of that trigger, right? We have all this this data, excuse me, that's available to us. All this data from our senses, from our own thoughts that we filter. Once we believe something is true, we start filtering out just the pieces that agree with the belief. But there's also just as much evidence that the contrary is true. I guarantee you. There's just as much evidence. So look for the times, go back into memory and think, when were the times I felt healthy and fit? And I know I looked good. And find the times when that was evidence that the new belief is true. That will start to loosen that belief up immediately, you know? And then what we do is as new data comes along, as the past and present, simulation continue, then we selectively filter the new data in to build the new belief. We only pick the pieces that support the I'm healthy and fit. We catch a glimpse of ourselves in the mirror. We're like, oh, I'm healthy and fit. Yeah. We see a reflection of ourselves we don't like. We're like, whatever. We literally are like, whatever. You have to get so stubborn. You do not accept any evidence that the old belief is true anymore. You have to get so firm and stubborn. You're like, this is who I am now. I'm healthy and fit. I am healthy and fit. And you only accept the evidence of that new belief being true. And that's what you keep reinforcing. And you keep reinforcing and you keep reinforcing. This doesn't have to take much time. This can happen in a day. You can anchor into this new belief so firmly and be like, I don't care what anyone says about me. I know I'm healthy and fit, and that is my reality, and that is true, and that's how it's going to be going forward. So the healing happens in the choosing. And then one day, poof, somebody says something to you, something comes up, and you don't react at all. And that's how you get stuff to roll right off your back. That's how we do it. That's how we recondition ourselves. Everything can be unlearned. Anything you've picked up and conditioned and programmed yourself can be undone by you quickly. This is easy. You just have to choose differently. And not a lot of people, what will happen is they just fall asleep, right? They get triggered, they fall asleep in the reaction. And they're like, oh, yeah, I accept this. This is my reality. And they never question. No. Acknowledge you have a button. Look for evidence from your past that the opposite is actually true. Get that initial loosening of the old belief, and then only accept evidence that the new belief is true. Only accept it. Be like, this is it. And then the healing happens while you're not paying attention, and things will roll right off you. For instance, I only teach things that have worked for me. This is the basis of my channel. When I first started this channel, I was extremely insecure about the quality of the things that I was putting out, and I was afraid people were going to attack me. That's the trigger I had. I felt like if someone didn't like my content, they didn't like my channel, they didn't like me, and they left a negative comment, that was something about me. So I did the same thing. I just kept reinforcing I deleted the nasty comments. I just deleted them. I'm like, they don't exist. Done. You don't get to do that to me. And through time, I came more and more aware and assured and standing in the truth that I put out good content. I know it. I know this. My content is solid. And now I don't receive many negative comments at all. Once in a while, someone will leave something weird. And now it doesn't even bother me. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, it doesn't shake me. So there's a perfect example of how this will work for you. If you apply it, you can do this. I believe in you. Come join the class if you need some additional guided support, and have a great day. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Bye.